And 50 grand.
Oh,
said
I
the next
lied
guy
just
tried it 3 times a year.
Right.
I would say, yeah, you may not want yet.
So.
Just mute the volume.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, when I look back in the.
Oh,
photos,
that's the
it was-
I would say that you may not yet.
Yeah,
Okay, wait.
Gotta mute.
but we had a lot of accidents. See a lot of.
That's- There. Yeah, click on that.
Okay.
So we're still getting back.
We're transmitting.
I think what he said to do was once we start the meeting, then I X out of that screen. It'll still be streaming, but we won't. I'm never gonna be here.
I didn't either.
I didn't make you a copy of the budget.
That's all right. I really don't mind.
Okay,
Right now?
only four. Well,
Chili muted.
welcome.
Oh, thanks.
Oh.
I tried already to get Oscar to break into the auditor's office, but I said, who else should be some places? It shouldn't be me. We're good. Yeah, I got this.
The rest of it going to Texas.
I don't know.
So maybe some kids, that's like the producing.
Yeah.
Wasn't listening, they are.
They don't write it much anymore.
Well, you know, they're
They're
young yet.
They're younger than I am. Yeah. Dave's the only one that rides. And I don't even know how much longer he'll be able to do that.
I haven't seen him around for a while, is he?
I haven't either.
And he sort of turned into a wild guy.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Oscar, how are you?
How's it going, Dick?
Nothing.
How are you?
Yeah.
Good.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I've been out of country.
Country. Meeting to order. Do the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome, everyone. So the first thing on our agenda is Bruce Wakeman. He's in charge of the Starke County Forest, which is one of our properties, and we did some logging because he told us we needed to clear out clear some trees out because they were poking other more valuable trees. Plus, it's a fundraising thing. He was gonna report on the logging results tonight, but evidently he had to.
Well, he asked me to give his report for him.
Yeah.
So it will be quick. He wanted everyone to know that he wanted you guys specifically to know that the parking lot was closed when active logging was happening. So, and then the logs they're kind of stacked up on the side of the parking lot, but they'll be moved very soon. He said they'll do it so early in the morning, it's pointless to close for it because they'll be gone. Pallet One of Indiana got the bid, and he said he wanted me to make sure to tell you that they did a very good job. He got $1450 for that, 14,500. So he also wanted me to tell you that he gets about $1,300 from the government, which he signed up for something way back in the 1980s. And it was like if you had a certain amount of trees or a certain kind of trees. Do you remember him talking about this? And he said, so he did it, he complied, he joined the program, and he's been getting $1,300 every year from the US government since then. Well, when he gets it, he just puts it in his Starke County Forest account here. So he said that he has spent $5,000 this year getting the gravel for the parking lot, but now the balance in the Starke County Forest account is $31,000, a little more, but that's about where it's at. And we talked about I was asking him a little about the account, and it is just a regular account. It's not exactly a trust, so he can make withdrawals and put money in for the forest. It's just for the forest. And I think that's pretty much it for the forest. But I wish he was here because he could say it so much better than I could.
Very good.
Not short enough.
Yes, thank you. And if any of you never visited the forest, it is a nice place to go and walk through, and it's very pleasant there. Okay, next on the list was the Troyer Group, and I don't see anyone here. Oh, there you go. You're sitting back there. Okay.
All right, so we received 2 bids. What we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna open them. I'm gonna show what numbers she needs to read out loud. And we are not gonna make any judgments on whether or not these are good bids or bad bids. We're just gonna read the numbers for public bid opening. And then what we're going to do is I will take these back and review them for compliance. Make sure they have everything that we asked them to include in their bid. And then I will make copies of these and send them to you immediately in the morning so you have them, and then I'll review them. And then we'll through the next month, we'll make a discussion on which one we like, whether or not we like any of them, whether or not we want to accept any of them or go back out to bid. In this bidding environment, I do want to throw that out there that is a possibility. It's happened in all of the communities around here. Our bidding environment is just so volatile right now. And because this is a grant-based project, we really don't have extra money to allow a bid that's over by too much. And so that is an option, just to warn everybody that's here.
So then we'll read the numbers out, and then we'll just take it under advisement.
Well, what we'll do is we'll be in discussion all month to decide what you guys want to do. And then at the next meeting, if we do pick one and there is one that we're going to go with, then I'll start working with them to get all their paperwork in order. And then at the next meeting, that's when we would want to award the bid.
Officially.
So, okay. All right, so here we go. The first one is from Gary Up Construction in Gary, Indiana.
What's the name?
Gary Up, GARIUP, and I will provide a bid tab tomorrow that has all of this documented.
Yeah.
They are saying that they did receive both addendums. Okay, and their final numbers are, I'm gonna have you read, we had 4 alternates, so we had a base bid, we had 4 alternates. The alternates, we have them priced out separately, in case, we need to cut some of the budget. It's kind of an easy block of change to take out and can do later or separately. That makes sense. So go ahead and read down the list, read what they
Okay.
are and what they're gonna be.
Okay, so the lump sum base bid price on this one is $967,500. The beach restroom building price is $193,700. The campground bath.
That was alternate 1, this is alternate 2.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Alternate 2 camp bathhouse bid price is $283,700. Alternate 3 beach gatehouse and camp gatehouse bid price $60,000. And alternate 4 the camp playground bid price $273,500.
Okay, so those are our totals. We are not gonna make an announcement on whether or not we like them or not, we're just stating them.
So the 4 alternates add up to the base.
No, the 4 alternates are in addition to the base. Our rough construction budget, mind you, was $900,000. Okay, the second one is from Brown and Brown. They are in receipt of both addendums. And their prices are right here.
Okay, lump sum base bid price, $765,000. Alternate 1 beach restroom building bid price, $116,300. Alternate 2 campground bathhouse bid price, $208,700. Alternate 3 beach gatehouse and campground gatehouse, $20,900. And the alternate 4 camp playground bid price, $184,700.
Okay.
So those are our budgets, those are our bids. We will, like I said, take them back and review them for total compliance. Even though one may be lower than the other, that does not mean it is in compliance. And what we do is also, because there is a discrepancy, if there is a discrepancy in costs, we want to double check with the contractor to make sure they've gotten everything, in case nothing was missed. So we will go over these with a fine tooth comb. And we will then be in contact with the contractors to answer our questions, and then it'll all be a discussion for the next month.
So when will the information come back to us to be able to start looking at?
Tomorrow.
the reviews? Tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
like in a day or something,
Huh?
end of day tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah. So what I'll do is first thing in the morning is I'll just scan all these and email them to Amy, and she'll send them to you so
Okay.
that you can review them, and then I'll start reviewing them and comparing hopefully apples to apples. So. Okay.
Where's the second one located at?
Oh, Brown and Brown. We have a Brown and Brown representative.
Okay, we're from Paparusa.
Yeah, Wapparusa, Elkhart Street. They also did the North Judson Town playground over there. Debtors just finished up. It was a project with us, so. Gary is a larger contractor who I have worked with on larger school projects and things like that.
Were there more than 2 that showed up out there at the?
There were, but some choose not to bid.
Only 2 chose to bid.
Yeah, yeah, and I know last week I got a request for a last minute bid. And I sent it to him and he just said he didn't have enough time to review it and make a submit. But for in the future, now we have his name and he can be included, so,
If these don't work out.
yeah. Or in any future projects.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, wait, we have a question.
Yeah,
I did. So you said the base price. And then the other.
4
Okay,
prices.
could you tell us what the base includes?
Okay, so the base, so that's a good question. So the project was funded by a grant, and within the grant, we have very specific things we have to complete no matter what to get their money. So most of that is related to ADA upgrades, so Americans with Disability Acts, making things accessible. That includes all of the restrooms and the beach house itself. So we were creating handicap accessible parking spaces and handicap accessible walkways to the building. And then all the restrooms inside are accessible. And so everything related to that at the beach house site is base bid. including the total renovation of the beach house.
And that don't include the bathrooms that down at the end of the beach.
No, it doesn't. So then our second alternate was the beach restroom building, way at the far, I'm gonna call it north end. And those are not as high a priority, because once we upgrade the beach house, those restrooms will be the ADA accessible restrooms, so we don't have to do the others. Of course, in good conscience, as good community neighbors, we want to. And then the campground restroom building, the shower building, that was going to be renovated all with inside to include accessible showers and accessible restrooms, and that would be all brand new inside. And that is, we view, and what we have all decided, and I think you'll agree, is that that's the second priority. Because that's your revenue-based income, is keeping the campers happy. You've raised their camping prices over the years, and what have you provided? So this is that in exchange.
Right.
And then the playgrounds, there's one at the beach, that one is included. It has to happen because that's the accessible playground at the beach. The one at the campground does not have to be done. It was just to be done to not satisfy, but just to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make it accessible. So the playgrounds were also going to be ADA accessible. So, oh, and then we had the two gatehouses. Those were receiving new electric. And the one at the beach house was getting new siding upgraded. So
Maybe doors, I thought.
a new door on the one at the campground.
Okay.
Yeah. But the one at the gate, after we talked last month,
Yeah.
we decided to go ahead and
That's right.
throw in new siding on that gatehouse because, yeah. And so as we can see, it didn't come back too far expensive on both of the bids, so,
Who makes the decision on what to cut?
it would be
The
them,
board?
100%. As long as we stay within the grant. I'm just here to
No, I mean, I
babysit
know
the
that,
grant
but-
requirements.
And we've already expended some of that money already, so it's quite the 1,150,000 that we had.
Right.
We got
It seems so much money when you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's paper.
No,
construction's expensive.
I know, but when you heard $1.5 million, it's like, we can get everything.
yeah. Yeah, and
Well, it's
that
actually
that first few $100,000 has gone to our services and permitting and surveying and all of that sort of thing, the soft costs that go along with preparing for a design project, so. All right,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
All right, you'll hear from me first thing in the morning.
Thank you,
Very good.
All
Krista.
right.
Thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is Gary.
Oh, we were here last month in October, and you guys committed to us to order some new aluminum piers for the south end of the lake. We ran into one little snag with it. The count that the pier installer gave us turned out to be a different count than what we had. When I went there and counted them later, we actually have 12 sections out there, and we gave you numbers for 11.
Right. Is that because we put it because of the water levels this year that we put in one less? 'Cause I know we did that at,
No, he took out 12.
okay.
So what we need from you guys is to give us the okay to order the one more section. To make it the same as it was. And I don't know if you guys needed the prices. I gave you price, Angelina gave you, this is the price quote for 12. And we need to get this done as soon as we can because she needs this to put in for the new permits. She has to apply for new permits for the south end. And it goes up,
Why do we have to apply for new permits?
Because we're changing it a little.
because you're doing a different material.
Aluminum instead of.
Yep, that's why.
And that, you're talking to DNR, right?
Yeah,
Cause it's still kind of up in the air what's actually gonna happen next year, because.
well, Andrew,
I think it's only the aluminum. I think we just basically let them know that we're doing aluminum rather than
so we're
wood.
gonna try and get the permit in as soon as we can. And it's roughly a difference of $940 maybe and some change. So
Yeah.
you guys made the commitment to order it, so Larry's has ordered it. And now if we can just get the okay from you to get the extra section.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the
I'll make the motion.
additional section?
Yeah.
Second,
I second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now the approval of the minutes from October 2024 meeting. Did everybody get a chance to read those online? Are there any corrections or discussions? Is there a motion to accept those minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of October 8th, 2024.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm abstaining because I wasn't here.
The only thing I would mention about those minutes though, too, though, that was the minutes where we had, there was a statement in there, and it's correct in the minutes that part of the money goes to the general fund. We found out later that that's not,
Yes, yeah.
it does go back into our account and gets carried over to the following year. So just to clarify. that.
Thank you, yeah.
Okay, we're down to Amy Flora, the superintendent's report.
I'll try not to go on and on and on. Okay, so lots of things happened in this last month. For one, I got a grant from the CVC. I completed and got a grant for some new signage for our properties. From the Starke County CVC board, one for each kayak launch. Some for Bass Lake Campground, so we can kind of see what, directional signs. And some new signs for Kramer's Beach. The current signs are incorrect, and Kramer's Beach, it might be semantics to some people, but I think it should matter, it should be right. So that's taken care of. I went to I can't remember the date, but one of the commissioner meetings in October, I presented a list of priorities, which I emailed to you guys, and you know about that. They were very receptive and helpful. They suggested maybe starting to get some quotes on some things, and they had some ideas for maybe different grants that I could look at. And then I will be attending the county council meeting this Monday, the 18th, to ask for an appropriation, move some of the money from one parts of our budget to the other. So I will also be giving them the list of priorities. Now, I noticed on the agenda I wasn't on there, and I thought I was supposed to be on there. So if something changes, I'll let you guys know, but I'm gonna plan to be there on Monday to ask for that appropriation from the council. Okay, so tentatively, I'd like to bring up a fundraiser. I contacted several local businesses about getting our logo printed so we can get it out there. The one that got back with me was Sports Unlimited, and they're just apparel. So I thought that might be a good place to start. And I got a high resolution image of our logo from the original artist. So now I'm just kind of waiting to getting this ball rolling. But I wanted to just make sure that you guys were okay with us doing something like that. And we could vote on it, or you could vote on it when I get the more specifics.
What are we going to do? Sell clothes?
Yeah, so Sports Unlimited said that they would basically put out the link, they can have a flyer and a link, and then people would order the things like the shirts with our logo, and then they can pick them up from Sports Unlimited. But I really was hoping to get more businesses involved, so maybe make this our first apparel, be our first kind of foray into it, see how it goes, and then see about maybe Simon Speed Shop could print some things besides apparel.
Yeah, so what I would think we would need is at least an amount that you think that we want to put into it.
I don't think we have to put anything into it.
I mean the t-shirts and the hats.
So basically, people they just order it. We don't have to buy any inventory up front. So I know I was worried about that. So it really wouldn't hurt us at all to see, at least to try, I think, at first. Especially since we don't have to put any money toward it and then try to sell it. And then I thought if they come out, yes, and I thought if they come out good, then I would maybe order some to have available to sell places or whatever.
Yeah, maybe I would think maybe just to kick it off, we might want to buy a couple of each of the things. Yeah, a couple of the things that you're looking to do so that we can kind of get an idea of how it's going forward.
Okay.
And then we might have an idea of the cost going forward too.
Right. Okay.
What's the target date for the grand opening of the beach house?
Well, I think we're gonna be open. I don't know when they're going to finish the construction, but it's going to be open. We're opening the beach on Memorial Day weekend. So hopefully it's functional enough to.
So even if we had a few on hand for that.
Right.
That's probably a good time.
That's what I was thinking would be a really good place to sell them in the concession stand.
I'd make a motion that we give Amy the okay to move forward with that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, thanks you guys. Okay, so Bass Lake. Few things, a tree fell at the campground a few weeks ago. It took out a power box, it knocked out the electric to several sites, so we had to use a couple of local businesses. We had Mike's Electric and Two Brothers Tree Service. It was kind of an emergency level thing. Both businesses have helped us multiple times in these situations this season. So I really appreciate it, and they do excellent work. So anybody looking for electrical or tree service, Mike's Electric, Two Brothers Tree Service, really can't say enough good things about those guys. But the problem is there's gonna be more. There's more trees and more stumps that need to go. So while Two Brothers was out taking care of that tree, cutting that up, getting it out of the way, they noticed a tree leaning over someone's pavilion. So I called Sam. Sam said, let's just take care of it. And that's what we did. But I can see that that's just gonna continue to be an issue out there with the trees. And then last week, a couple electric boxes burned up too. So I think electric and trees are our big, problems right now at the campground that we're gonna have to tend to. Mike Barron will be out this Friday, winterizing camp. Okay, and so for the Bass Lake Beach renovation, I've reformed a committee. There used to be a committee, but I thought now we have a whole new cast of characters. We're on the second phase of the thing. So I did reach out to a few people. Tom is going to be on it. I asked Donnie Binkley to be on it. He has a lot of knowledge. He's a really good resource for me. He said he'd be willing if you guys are okay with it. And Rick Green, also, I asked him, he is the head maintenance guy for the courthouse plaza. And he has a lot of expertise that I could really use. So, and then I know Rick Gilver would like to be on the committee. That's how I found out about the committee originally. And I asked Lisa Shung to be on the committee as well. So that way peers are represented and campground is represented.
We should look into it. I think Russ Blaze might have been involved in it too. Russ, wasn't he Russ Blaze?
Yeah.
So we might want to think about including him, because he was on the original committee.
Right, so anybody else who wants to join, whether new or from the original board, I'm happy to have.
Up to 2 board members be on it, as long as we don't.
Yeah, so if anybody else wants to do it, just let me know. Think it over if you'd like to do it or whatever, but as of right now, and I'm hoping someone from the council will want to jump on, and I think it was maybe day before. I don't know if he'll want to do it again but that's who I have for now. So as long as that, I have your blessing with that. We can go forward. Okay, so the kayak launches. So English Lake is pretty well ready. Like I said, I tried to send the photos. I didn't get them to you guys in time, but I will tomorrow. So the kayak launches were oversaw by the KYRBC, the Kankakee Yellow River Basin Commission. So Starke County is becoming part of what's called, they're calling the Blue Trail. This is what I was trying to tell you about the other day. So basically it's going to be kayak launches all along the Yellow and the Kankakee River. And so those rivers converge, it's called a confluence, my mom taught me this. They converge at English Lake. So that's kind of like the starring spot. But the Blue Trail includes a launch that already exists in Bremen. Then they're going to construct one in Jasper County and then the 2 here in Starke County. So English Lake and then Highway 23 is the plan for the next one. So that's the Blue Trail for the kayak launches. So the total cost of the project was $47,986. The park was done, and that is all pending final inspection by Bob Alloy, but we were responsible for 35,000 of that. That was all out of donation. So the CVC, Starke County CVC board donated $30,000 and the Starke County Community Foundation donated the other 5. And then the KYRBC is donating the rest of the cost. So The KYRBC also is going to be paying 100% of the next kayak launch we do, the Highway 23 one. So that's pretty exciting. That launch must be completed though by April 1st because of the beginning of bat mating season. So we should have it done by very soon. Okay, so as far as these kayak launches, I'm gonna be emailing you guys, but be thinking about if there's a date in the next about 30 days that we could all gather out at English Lake for a ribbon cutting ceremony. But I'll email you and we can kind of pick a date and go from there.
Yeah,
That would be
maybe-
Saturday due to the
Yeah.
sun setting so early.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Just throw out a couple dates and times and see what I.
That's what I'll do. Saturday.
It has to be Saturday.
Yeah,
We can't get out there during the weekdays.
yeah. Okay.
State Road 23, has there been any movement on securing that property?
Will you speak on that,
Yeah.
Kathy Norm?
Yes, I continue to be involved with that. We had a meeting last week, with, the Kankakee Yellow River Basin Commission and Bob Alloy. And, Bob presented his sketch for what for the area that he was in, that is in question. To make sure that those guys were okay with the payment, and actually, the park board is gonna probably have to cut down the trees, but they're gonna do the actual construction launch. And they approved it, said that looked good to them, and the trees have to be cut down by April 1st because of bat season.
Okay, yes, I
And-
misspoke. We have to do the trees,
Yeah,
yes.
and the kayak launch cannot start until July 1st because of spawning season.
That's what it
So,
was.
it will actually begin just like that one at
English Lake.
English Lake. We didn't start that till after July 1st because of spawning season 2. So, the next step is, Bill Crace, who is now on the county council, did a lot of work to help us along with the KRVC. And he's contacting Dr. Fritz, and he and I will go out to see Dr. Fritz and Mrs. Fritz to present that plan to them to make sure that is acceptable to them, because he wanted to see where it was going to be before he gave final agreement. So once we do that and get that done, then Bob Alloy is going to survey it for free. And then Bob is gonna send the survey to Marty Lucas, and he's gonna do the deed for free. And then it'll come here to the board for, we'll have a little presentation or something for the board to accept the property. And then the trees have to get cut down before April 1st. So she'll have to get some quotes on that, and I'll try to work with her to try to see if we can get some more money towards that.
Will we have to have the deed in place before we cut the trees, or is that
Or an signed agreement.
agreement to be able to cut trees
Signed
down?
agreement.
Okay.
Marty says as long as he's got the survey, it's easy to do a deed, and he turn it over right away, and we'll get Dr. and Mrs. Fritz to sign it. And so these things have to occur before we actually do anything anyway, so I'm trying to push those guys to get a little faster on it, so before I die. Bob did send me a text message after the English Lake one was done. He said legacy project #1 completed. Bless his heart, so.
All right. Well, that sounds great. I think that's a good thing for everyone.
Mhm.
Very good.
Good thing you came.
Yes.
Okay, that's the end of my superintendent report, but now I'm gonna, I think, properly do the budget and financial report finally. Okay, so budget report, I'll say what was appropriated first and what we have spent this month and then what's left over. So part-time work is something, I only added the things that we spent any money on this month. So part-time work, we were appropriated 30,000. We've spent this month 2,267.11. So we have spent 24,986.
30,000.
Yes, I've got those mixed up. Okay. Repair and maintenance, we were appropriated 32,000. We spent 53,169. We have none left.
Right, so that's one of the areas that we have to
Yes.
ask for like 20,000.
Yes, that-
And we have the cash
Yes,
to be able to spend, they don't have to give us money, they need
Yes.
to appropriate it, right?
yes,
Like
That was
20,000.
advertised too, what she was talking about, her transfers that she.
Good, okay. okay, then I'm on for Monday. Okay, good. Utilities, we were appropriated 30,000. We've spent 17,385. That leaves us about 12,600 left.
In the utilities,
Mhm.
I thought I showed that we were over in utility.
We do, we are. We still have 12,600 left. We're good there. We should be good there. Internet, I'll let you. Should I keep going and just?
Yeah, you could.
Okay. Internet, we were appropriated 4,800. We've spent 3,100. We have 1,600 left, just about. Cell phones, we were appropriated 700. We've spent 400. We have almost 300 left. I think my cell phone's like almost $50 a month, 49 something. And the equipment, we were appropriated 25,000. We've spent 19,717. We have about $5,200 left. So do you want to know the bills that we paid this month, like who it was and how much it was? Do you want me to say that? Or
Sure.
okay. We paid Steve Barrett $4,460 for peer removal. We paid Bass Lake Conservancy $409. That's our sewage. MediaCom is $371 every month. Mike's Electric, we paid $423 for that repair. And then Two Brothers, we ended up with $1,100. They did $500 for the cleanup on the tree that fell and then $600 to take the other one down. We got service sanitation, we paid $123. That's the porta potties, they picked those up. HML, that's our water testing. It costs $35 a month, but I only have to do it during season. We paid an old bill to Otis for $40. We paid Territorial Engineering $615. That's to Bob Aloy for the design of the kayak launch and the final inspection. And then we paid Pilot News Group $144 for the bids. So it was a pretty easy month. So for the financials, I have from last month's meeting to now and then to date. So the campground and rental for the winter, for just the month, we brought in $3,745. And to date, the campground has brought in $168,660. Pier rentals, we brought in $200 the month, but for piers, we've brought in $66,000. Beach and gate, now of course we didn't bring in anything this month, but the beach gate and pavilion brought in almost $17,000, and kayaks rentals were almost $700 for the year. And I'll review that next month too. So, the year-to-date totals, the receipts, the amount of money we've taken in is $312,000 approximately. The appropriation, the budgeted amount, we were budgeted $228,000 approximately. Expenditures, what we've spent so far is $200,000. About $200,880 actually. The unexpended, so how much we have left over in our budget still to spend is about $27,000. And so the cash, and this is where I made the mistake last time. The cash available left over is $111,281. And that does not go into county general. That's actually money, unappropriated money that we can spend as we need.
That we can spend as long as we have the appropriate appropriation
Yes,
in the budget.
yes.
So the question I had though was in the utilities, I'm showing in the ledger that we expended $31,868.25, and we only were appropriated $30,000, so we need to.
Oh, great.
Yep. We need to
Okay.
ask for an additional appropriation at the
On that.
council for that too. So I was thinking maybe if we ask for 20, I mean, it's up to you. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
take a look and see what we think we need going through to the end of the year and not have to go back to them for another appropriation, but
Yeah.
we should
If we
ask for
have
it out.
Additional that has to be advertised. So I don't recall what was advertised for the park.
It wasn't utilities, it was only repair and maintenance and office supplies.
But if you've got money in that same category, you can shift that around maybe. I can look at that and,
Okay.
and,
So you have to advertise even when you're asking for an additional appropriation?
yes, even though it's within your budget, you still have to.
Even though you have the cash to pay for it, you still have
Yes,
to do it.
yeah.
Is that appropriate, that you're talking about the new appropriation, is that to take effect for next year?
No, this is the appropriations that Amy is referring to is what we're appropriated for 24.
Exactly.
We're not even into 25 yet, so that's a whole new.
When does
budget,
that start?
January 1st.
The winter storage for the campers and the lifts on the beach, is that income going to this year's or next year's?
Whatever, everything that comes in before January 1st goes on this year and then it'll.
And then I think when you were saying that 300 and some thousand in receipts, that includes the carryover from the previous year. So there was like 60,000, something like that we carried over from
Yeah.
23 into 24. So it's about 200 and whatever,
It's nice to see money's finally.
Well, yeah, and right now the cash balance of 111,000 is pretty good
So when do you guys work on the budget for next year?
for 26.
No,
They did that in
25.
July,
No,
didn't you guys do it
25.
in July
That's already done?
And that was done in May of this year
or May?
or over the summer. That was
So-
one I went to and got beat up pretty good.
Well, I mean, like, as far as spending, like, what do we do, like, this year, we're spending. I think, what, 11,000 something on those aluminum piers,
Mhm.
okay. Say we wanna start replacing the wood piers, do we take that out of the money we have, or do we have to go to them to get extra money?
Well, no, I think that's part of the discussion. I'm sorry, you guys want. I think that's part of the discussion that the board needs to have prior to budget time for 26 and see if there's something that we want to do on an ongoing basis, like repair, a third of the sections of this pier and a third of the,
Yeah.
so that kind of planning should happen March, April this year
Okay,
or next year. I mean,
just so I know.
yeah.
That is the end of my report. Is that more like what you guys were thinking of? Okay.
That's good. I'm just gonna ask for a motion to approve all those reports. The superintendent's report, budget report, financial report. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Very good. Okay, do we have any approval of paying claims and routine bills? Is there a motion to do that?
I would make a motion that we approve paying the claims and routine bills for this month or up until this month.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Okay, is there any other business that needs to come before the board?
I'd like to start a discussion on adding some more kayak launches that's going forward in the future.
Yes,
Nothing definitive, just
No, I
start
know.
looking at them.
well, yeah, we'll kind of take this one at a time, I think, but we've got English Lake, we're gonna have State Road 23. And then the city is supposed to do, it's not really a launch, I don't think, it's more or less it's a launch, but it's kind of,
Come on, yes.
it's so they can get their kayaks.
Above the dam because it's dangerous going over the dam.
Right, well, the rapids there at the park, so we had funds that were designated for that purpose, and we turned it over to the city because that just seemed a simpler and cleaner way to do things, and I don't think they've started on it yet, but.
No, and I did talk to Dennis yesterday. I would think he'd like to get started in the summer, but he's concerned that he's not gonna have enough money based on today's construction costs, because the original estimates were like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So the CBC board, which I also sit on, will give him another $10,000, so he will end up having the same amount that the Starke County Park Board got. But then beyond that, he's gonna have to figure out some funding for the rest of it.
And I think there's been some discussion about maybe doing another one, farther to the east, but I don't know if that's,
Originally, the proposal that was written, Mary Perrin wrote a grant for, which we did not get. It included 1100 east and 700 east, and I think that was it, if I'm not mistaken.
The
May have
park board
been-
5-year plan shows Range Road as well.
Okay, and that could be, that could very well be. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but I thought there was one in between Knox and the end of it, so. And I think it'd be great if the park board would wanna move forward on that, but.
yeah.
You'd
Just gotta
have
make
to
sure you have
plan
the
like
money.
one a year or something like that, and you'd have to secure it, because they are expensive to build. And you're gonna have to get some donated money, some grant money, something.
Yeah, they are expensive and then you have to have cooperation from people selling you the properties too, a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of that property is owned by private individuals and you have to.
Have we ever
My
looked at
recollection is the
Kankakee?
county already owns the easement there at 1100 east.
That's a possibility, yeah.
That was what I recall, but at Range Road, I think, and we did look at that. Amy was not with us. That was before she got involved. We went out there to look at it with the KRBC, and Bill Price was with us. And Dan Gums owns one corner of that, so that is an option to talk to Dan about, being able to get in there, but it just, I thought it'd be done way before now. I never thought 5 years later I'd still be messing around with it, so. Yeah, it just is
Not
taking forever to
easy.
get going.
What about on the Kankakee? That's the defining geological feature of our county.
Yes, that is an option too, because they converge and then it becomes the Kankakee after they converge. So, and that's what the KRBC is doing with their, in Jasper County is right off the Kankakee.
Have they ever looked at Davis?
No, we have not, but there's no reason why we couldn't do that.
There's a couple of interesting features with the way the land lays out there. LaPorte County owns an easement on our side of the river along the road.
Okay.
And then on their side of the river, the county owns a spot that would be perfect for a launch.
The county owns it?
LaPorte County owns it.
Oh, LaPorte County, that's okay.
So
Well, I say they're part of the Kankakee River Basin Commission, within that watershed, so. We might be able to get the KRBC to say, well, you've gotten Jasper, Starke, and a little of Marshall County, now LaPorte needs your assistance to get one there, so. I can bring that up to Scott Peeler.
because right now, when my friends and I go kayaking, we put in at the DNR property at Meanderlands on 35 where it crosses the river.
Yeah,
And we go down to Davis. That's dangerous coming out under that bridge there because
Is it?
riprap this big but slippery.
yeah.
But with a little bit of work, they could put one in on LaPorte County side of the river and make it really safe.
And LaPorte County actually owns that.
Mhm.
Well, I'd like to get the information. I don't know why I keep saying, give Amy the information. Yeah, give Amy the information.
Then I'll give it to her.
Is that something we want to coordinate with LaPorte County's park board on?
Well, certainly worth investigating, sure.
We can look into it,
Or
for sure.
approach them
Would you
and,
like me to go approach?
sure, that'd be great.
Mhm. And
It'd be
I'm,
nice up in that neck of the woods, because they don't have a lot up there, so.
yeah,
Mhm.
Very good. Okay, if that's it. I'll call the meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming, appreciate it.
Oh, one more thing, I just want to say, it's not just a statement. You saw the other day in the paper that Starke County is getting a new DNR officer. He's just
No.
leaving school now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they listen to all the counties, they get new ones. They just had a class. He's finished his DNR training, now he's in, I think, 15 weeks of law enforcement training. And then,
So so the one for Stark already is going somewhere else?
they didn't say anything, they just stated that they
Or
had
just an
new ones, a new one in Starke County. They didn't say if he's in addition to or replacement of, and I just thought people might want to
You
know.
might have him invite him to.
I will. I will.
I think they hired 23 new ones. Or 23 just graduated, something like